One voice rises from the sands, carried by wind, powered by spirit, and echoing with truths. Where the weird, the wild, and the wondrous can find their signal. Dust off that dial and tune in to the frequency. Live from the Sonoran Desert, it's Is This Why I Get in Trouble? With your host, Andrea Garcia.
Hello, welcome back to Is This Why I Get in Trouble? A podcast by your host, me, Andrea Garcia. Hello. It's a crazy day today, so we're gonna go with the flow of this one, and if you're looking for segments, oh well. Next time. Yeah, I'm just gonna go straight to it. I am trying really hard right now not to make this entire episode be about Michelle Branch. What does she have to do in this episode? I don't have any clue. It's just that I can't stop listening to all of her new music, so I'm having some difficulties of thinking about anything else. So we're going to be talking about my first concert, which was Michelle Branch, and I actually recorded a whole, too much, so now I have episode 10. That's how much I recorded, okay? And I just was like, I can't do this anymore. So I just was like, put it in two. The other portion will be episode 10. So in this episode, it is my first concert with Michelle Branch and the analogy of my friend leaving me at the concert because she was scared. She was in a relationship with a man. Then we talk about gyms and why gyms are important and choosing the right gym for you, and maybe how not to get a discount at a gym from my own personal experience, or maybe that's what you want to do. And then we touch quickly upon intermittent fasting and my wellness journey, plus my doubles partner in tennis. Also, how to be more romantic. But those are people. Wait. Those things are not together. What I meant to say was, and we also talk about how to be more romantic to yourself in order to be more romantic with a partner. So I guess it is like a doubles partner, but the doubles partner I'm talking about is my platonic partner from high school. So anyway, you get it. Shut up. We kick it off with Michelle Branch. Take it away. No. Anyway, I'm going to try really hard not to make this entire episode be about Michelle Branch. Why is Michelle Branch here right now? I discovered this album that she has. It's called The Trouble with Fever. And we're not related, okay? Is this why I get in trouble with your host, me, Andrea Garcia? I think I should probably eat before I do the podcast because I'm intermittent fasting right now, and this is a lot. This is a lot. But we're going to roll with it, okay? It is so good. But here's the thing. I am a Michelle Branch stan, okay? And I mean from back in the day. You know, from back in the day when she first came out with the Spirit Room. Yeah, I am a Michelle Branch die-hard fan. She was my first concert that I ever went to. And there's a whole little story behind that, and that's the anecdote that we're going with today. But her new album, lovingly, with no reason or connection to me, is called The Trouble with Fever. Trouble. We have a heat advisory warning of 7 degrees. And actually it's pretty mild because last summer in Arizona, it was pretty hot out here. And guess who is also from Arizona? And I swear I did not, I swear I did not move here because of Michelle Branch. But Michelle Branch is from Arizona. I swear I didn't. It just happens to be. Okay. Judgers. Oh my God, she's from Sedona? It makes sense. Honestly, it makes so much sense. Like, That makes so much sense. Her first album is called The Spirit Room. Oh, I'm going to try so hard not to make this entire episode about Michelle Branch and Sedona. Woo. It's really hard. It's really difficult. Thank you for sticking with this episode. This entire episode was going to go in a completely different direction. And now we've just decided, you know what? We're going somewhere else with it. Everybody is so serious. Let's talk about Michelle Branch. Not that Michelle Branch is not serious. She's very serious. She's a true artist. Okay. Okay. This is so fun. This is so fun. Why? Because last night I got this book, 1001 Ways to Be Romantic. Okay. And it looks like it was written in the 1990s. When was this written? Let's see. Oh my gosh. 1996? A handbook for men, a godsend for women. What a line. 1995 by Gregory J.P. Godek. They even got an intro by Jay Leno. 1001 Ways to Be Romantic. That seems like an awful lot. I mean, guys, if the first 1,000 ideas don't work, what are the chances she's going to stick around when you say, okay, just one more? That's Jay Leno. That's good. That was a good one. That's a good one. Now I understand why they got him. So I got this book because I said, I want to be more romantic with myself. I.e., then I will become the most romantic when I find a partner. They better be just as romantic as me. So one of the pages that I opened up to last night, I was like, oh, I want to do that actually. And it really stuck out to me. It was number 980. For a new age escape, visit Sedona, Arizona. Visit the energy vortices, participate in firewalking, meditate, and visit the shops. And I had been to Sedona twice this year. It was so good. It was so much fun. I went during Christmas and I went in January for Christina's birthday. And I loved it. I wouldn't live there, but I would absolutely go there every chance I got. Except that when I did get invited back to go visit a friend, Chloe, who was coming in from North Carolina, the dirty South, I got really sick. Like, really sick. Oh, that sucked. But there's always another day. There's always another vacation. So hopefully I will go to Sedona. Anyway, I'm not going to make this entire podcast about Michelle Branch and Sedona, as hard as I'm wanting to. Maybe we should do it. Should we do it? No, we're not going to do it. Another time. I feel like we have such an interesting point of view in this country, in our culture of USA anyway, when it comes to romance, of that it's on certain days or it's a certain type of thing. But really, romance doesn't equal love. It's an expression of love. So it is an expression towards yourself. It's an expression towards the people that are around you. It's an expression. That's why they say, like, oh, she's a romantic, or she romanticizes things, as if that's a bad thing. Okay. You want me to be a terrorist? You want me to be a romantic terrorist? God, can't do nothing. People are just. That's my version of telling you, you suck. But we gotta live in the real world. Oh, okay. Let's live in the real world. Romance is about how a person sees the world. It's about, maybe you don't know. To be honest, you probably don't know. Romance isn't just buying you flowers. Romance is all the time, all things. And if you haven't guessed yet, my love language is definitely gifts. No. And quality time. If I have to learn one more psychological analysis type of thing, I swear to God, I will become a romantic terrorist. Why? Because this entirety of every type of construct or learn about yourself, your habit, your emotional attachment, your this, that, this, like, listen, can we just like agree that whatever system we're in is inherently broken? And by you trying your hardest to figure out a way to stay sane, playing whatever game, like at a certain point, you're going to have to be okay with coloring outside the lines. Okay. At a certain point, we're going to have to be okay with saying, hey, this is not great. Either it evolves or I don't know. But learning 50 million different types of this is why you're this way and this is this in order just to kind of stay sane to like, and okay, hold on. The other thing that I have to say is that you know who's not looking at these tests? You know who's not looking at like attachment style and how to better themselves and all this other crap? Are psychos, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths. They don't care. If anything, they would learn it just to be like, oh, you're this, to weaponize it against you. And meanwhile, you're sitting there saying, oh, I'm like this. Maybe. You put so much effort into yourself to make yourself better, do better on a gradual scale because you can't just hard launch, right? Believe me, I've tried. Believe me, I have tried. It's a gradual progression of who you are and are you who you want to become. Also, I'm just going to go on tangents. This is the Tangent Podcast. Let's jump into the Michelle Branch segment of my story. Michelle Branch is a very important figure in my life as I was a huge fan growing up, like Michelle Branch type of fan, poster on the wall type of thing. First concert I ever went to. So this story is about my first concert. Cue some music. I'm not sure what. Cue nostalgia, emo, teen, not screamo. Oh my God. Remember when, I don't know if you guys, I don't know how old you people are, but remember screamo? Ugh, terrible. Just the worst. Anyway, cue Michelle Branch. She was playing, at the time she had formed another band called The Wreckers with, I forget what her name is. I think it's like Jessica Hart. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see how right I am. Oh, Jessica Harp. I was so close. She had formed a duo country band called The Wreckers, and that album was Stand Still, Look Pretty, and it was so good. Oh my God. She was going to perform in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I am originally from the location of Pennsylvania, whether you know this or not. So I had convinced another friend to go with me. We will keep her alias. We will call her by her first name, Jen. There were a lot of Jens. So Jen had a car whose gas gauge did not work. You never knew when the car was out of fuel. You know when you were like 16, 17 and you're like, you get some weird hand-me-down or like you paid like $500 and you get this weird car. She had this car. And I remember it was like wood panel, but it was like a Jeep. It was like some sort of something. Okay. And we couldn't tell. It was like a tin can on the inside. We could not tell whether the car had gas or not, or even what speed we were going. So you kind of had to like eyeball it and be like, I don't know. And this was our first like trip going far away. She had convinced her mother, and her mother like eventually said yes. And I had convinced my mother, which is very difficult. She said, okay, be back by a certain time. I said, okay. No. And oh man, sorry mom. And we went all the way to Allentown, and this was a school night. Oh man, in high school. I think we were seniors, and Jen and I had been really close. Not like sexually close, platonically close. We both played a sport together, and we rose up in the ranks in the same division, and we practiced on the daily with each other. So this is how close we truly were. When you practice daily with another person in a sport, they become your like person. Not like that, platonically speaking. She's straight lady. So yeah, I hung out with her all the time. All the time I hung out with her. So what happened? We get to the concert venue. For some reason, I don't understand what happened, but Michelle Branch or the Wreckers didn't come on until 10 o'clock. And we were supposed to be home by midnight. We still had an hour drive and all this other stuff. And Jen started getting really scared. She was like, we're going to be driving in the dark. We're going to be doing this. Like, I want to go home. I want to go home right now. We had just driven all this way to go see the Wreckers. This is the first concert of my life. I love Michelle Branch. She's one of my like favorites of all time. And I'm looking at her because Jen is freaking out. And I'm like, no, we're not leaving. Okay. I understand that you're upset, but we're not leaving. We're staying. And she was like, no, we have to leave. And like every single anxiety imaginable came out. I have known this girl for 4 years. And like I said, I had played sports with her. And so when you become that close with a person that you practice with on the daily and you do meets and you basically are each other's really great friends, I had never seen her like this. And I was like, it's gonna be okay. Like, like every anxiety that you could ever imagine just came out. And all of them were, not that they were unfounded, but you know when a person is spiraling, she spiraled out of control. And I was like, okay. I just was trying to calm her down, and she just was not hearing it. She was like, I'm leaving right now. I'm leaving you. I'm leaving. And like, there was no talking. There was nothing. You couldn't say anything back. She just was not listening. And in that moment, right when she was like, I'm leaving, behind me, I heard this girl speaking to this guy. This guy was trying to pick up this girl. And she goes, yeah, I go to East Stroudsburg University across the street from the Pizza Hut. Why is she telling him about the Pizza Hut? I don't know. How does he know about the Pizza Hut? So I mean, when I tell you I turned around, like my life depended on it, I turned around and I said, I like interceded. I cock blocked him. So sorry, dude. Not sorry. I interceded and I said, you go to East Stroudsburg University? And she goes, yeah. And she was with like another girl. And I was like, do you know where the Dunkin' Donuts is? Over here, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, yeah, of course. I said, I go to high school in East Stroudsburg High School. My friend is about to leave. Can I go home with you? I don't know this girl. I don't know anything about her. Who is this? Fear for her, fear for me. But I didn't care. And she was like, yeah. Yeah. They were so excited. They were so excited. And I was like, here's my ID. Like, I'm a high school kid. Like, I'm serious. She's about to leave. And I want to enjoy this concert. And Jen was so mad. She left. And just to fast forward a little bit, she never spoke to me again. She never spoke to me again. Okay. I tried, but she just never spoke to me again after that night. So I'm in the concert, I'm enjoying myself, I'm having a great time of my life. First concert ever. This is a big deal for me. And at the end, I was like, Michelle Branch, like, you know, when you're like freaking out, screaming. And Michelle threw her guitar pick at me. Oh my God. and it bounced off my breast. It bounced off my boob onto the floor. And you know who it bounced in front of? The girl who was bringing me home, who was driving me home. In this moment, it took everything within me to say, you have to let her have this guitar pick. You have to let her have this because she is your ride home. You cannot have everything. Okay? But Michelle Branch, without even knowing, helped me out so much in this moment, because the entire car ride home, the girl was like, can you believe that it bounced off of you and right in front of me? And I was like, yeah, like she acknowledged that happened. She looked at me and she's like, what are you gonna do when it fell on the floor? Like, are you gonna fight me for it? And I said, no, take it. I was like, you're my ride home, please take it. And she acknowledged it. And Michelle Branch in this moment helped me out in like the biggest way possible. So of course, in any album she ever puts out for the rest of time, unless it's like it's really bad, like you're crying on it or something weird, then I'm forever a stan. Forever. She basically got me home that night. So Jessica, who was the girl that was next to her playing, saw what had just happened, and she handed me her pick. And I was like, hey, thank you, Jessica. I mean, I was like, like screaming and going crazy and going, I love you. Like, but all's well that ends well. But Jen never spoke to me again. And somebody told her that story that happened. I mean, everybody found out that she had left me there. And they were like, whoa, I can't believe you left her there. Okay, so here is the reason we figure out why she left me there, or her strategy. I don't really know. All right, so here's the story. I was playing sport, tennis, as you all know. Jen was my practice partner. And she didn't have a membership to the fancy gym. So there's multiple gyms in the town that I grew up in. And so on the lead up to and during and right after, I would, of the season of the sport, which is the fall, I would join the fancy gym because they had an indoor tennis court. But something like that is very expensive, and it's very, very, very expensive. So I only could do it half of the year. Also, if you want to play better, you got to be seen. You got to go to where the big players are. In order to be a better tennis player, you have to play with people who are better than you, and you have to lose consistently. That's the only way to become good at tennis, is to lose consistently. And that's what people don't get. So also, anybody that was anybody in the sport went to this gym. So if you're seen working out there, you're seen part of the team there, you're seen, doing your thing, you're working out, you then get, I'm going to be very honest, this is I guess PR. You then get a nod from the important players to the coach that you're serious about what you're doing. So if you're seen by specific people at this gym, they know that you're serious about what it is because they're there. And if other serious people are there, they recognizes real. Okay? As you all know. Jen did not have a membership there, but I was able to get her in through my membership on different occasions. I mean, we'll go into this place. This place was, I hadn't yet developed in my sexual journey, but I mean, I was a hot commodity at this gym. Oh my God. It was crazy. No, it was a little too much. It was very it was anyway, I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, maybe I should join a fancy gym because then I will for sure find a girlfriend, because I don't know, it to the point where these people were calling my mother, asking her questions about me. What? And she would be like, why are these people calling me? What are you doing at this gym? Why are you asking me what I'm doing in every situation? Why aren't you asking them what they are doing? How about that? Okay. They were calling her and being like, how about this? She could come and do this and do that. And it just became like I was basically like, I don't know what it is. Okay. You would think that fit people do not like chubby people. But the truth is that they're all very excited. I don't know what it is. Okay. And it was like a thing, right? I couldn't even take a shower at this gym. It was that bad. I could not even take a shower at this gym. Why? Because they would try to get into the shower with me. I'm not even kidding. So at a certain point, I was just like, I wasn't comfortable yet in who I was as a person, and I wasn't comfortable yet in my maturity and my sexuality as a woman. Because when you're growing up and you're pretending not to be gay, you are you're doing a lot of different things in order to placate a lot of different people. And the one person that you're not placating, or the one person that you're not sticking up for, is yourself, right? So I didn't realize that until later on. But anyway, I went and I joined the non-fancy gym at the end of the season. And I needed money because I was going to college far, far away. And I was like, I went to the YMCA and I was like, hey, I need a membership here. And I was like, can I get a discount? Give me a discount. And he was like, you got any friends? The guy at the counter at the YMCA. And I was like, yes. I got a lot of friends. What are you talking about? And he was like, oh, so I'll give you a discount if you let me meet one of them. And I said, okay. So I said, Jen. I said, Jen, I need for you to come with me to the YMCA so I can get a discount. And she was like, what do you mean? What like I was like, I need him to meet with you. And if he meets with you, he said he'll give me a discount. And she was like, she didn't want to do it. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I really need to join this gym membership. Like, please. And so I brought her anyway. And I said, here she is. I said, sign me up. Where's my discount? And I said, no, I want more percentage off. Okay. If I'm a player, I'm a pimp right now, I want more percentage off. And I got the discount. And what happened? They're married now. They're married now and they have 3 kids, as I saw on Facebook, because we're Facebook friends. Hey. So I can't be that much of a villain, can I? And you still left me at the place. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Because also, you're welcome. Because I know if she ever listened to this, she'd be like, oh, that B. Good. You're welcome. I hope you're having a good time. Thank you for my discount. Anyway, this morning I was thinking about how I have to edit this podcast. And I was in bed. Why does this sound weird? Hold on. I was in bed. And you know what I remembered? Well, first off, I thought to myself, fuck that bitch. When I was thinking about Jen. Jen, lovingly so. I haven't talked to you in like 20 years, but that's how I feel. Anyway. Okay, so now we're going to talk about why it matters what gym you decide to go to. Psychologically, whatever. The gym that you decide to go to matters. At the YMCA, there's a Dunkin' Donuts next door to the YMCA. And I used to actually work there. And I remember people would come in from the YMCA, like as soon as they're done working out, like literally they're sweating. They have the band, you know, when like people have the sweatbands on their heads and stuff. They would come in and they would be like, I want 10 donuts. And I'd be like, no. Oh, you can't have 10 donuts. You just went to work out. What are you talking about? You want 10 donuts? Like, that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. I can say that's a problem. You can't say that's a problem. But I was like, no, you can't do that. And it would be so funny because the wife would always come in right afterwards and be like, don't let him order. Like, Guys, come on. These people would come in right afterwards. That's why if you join a gym, it's really important the surroundings of the gym because it is going to be a trigger behavior. But a lot of plus size issues are a psychological, or a lot of them do have to do with other things that are going on in the body, right? But so after the YMCA, the distance to the YMCA to the Dunkin' Donuts was like a footstep. And that footstep is too easy for people who are on their way to their car and they can pick up a donut. You get what I'm saying? Rather than the fancy gym was across from a Subway. So I don't know why I'm talking about this. This just came out. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, if you're going to go to a gym, just make sure the surrounding area has interesting or good food, because then the temptation to want to cheat on the diet or to cheat on your regimen or whatever it is too great. And you really don't need that in your life. And also, you don't want to be surrounded. I know this is a terrible thing, but as a plus size person, you don't want, if you're like, if you're trying to get fit, you don't want to be surrounded by other people that are going to give in to their worst inhibitions. Because then it makes your journey too difficult, right? I don't know why I'm talking about this. This just came out, but okay. But also, I feel like if I were to look for a discount at a like the fancy gym, I probably associate that now with me having to do sexual favors, and then a cheaper gym. Here's my friend. Oh my god. So I just need to pay the full price, guys. That is the moral of the story. So going back to the YMCA story, now we all know that Jen is dating the guy that works there at this gym, okay? I literally had to be like, when I was scanning my card in, I was like, listen, I need for you every time that I come in here not to like cower, okay? Because it's weird. It's weird. And I don't, because I was trying to tell him, like, I don't want added issues as to why I wouldn't or would work out. Like, it has nothing to do with you. It literally has nothing to do with your girlfriend. It has everything about the surrounding energy of me wanting to work out. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? It's the same energy as like, I don't take maybe that gym now seriously because it's distance to Dunkin' Donuts. That's what I'm trying to say. So I was like, listen, I don't need any more reasons to not want to be here. And eventually I just stopped going to that gym because I was like, this is just, ugh. If I'm trying to go into a place to become fit and I'm feeling like the people that work there are going to act like little bitches, I won't be able to go to it. I won't respect it. It's just not a thing. You get what I'm saying? I know it sounds terrible, but it's true. I'm sorry to say this, but little bitch energy is contagious. And if you're surrounded by other people who, it's true. If you're surrounded by that, if you're surrounded by that, my issue that I always had was the opposite. I was the one that I would always jump in at the end of the pool, the deep part of the pool, and not even know how to swim and just jump in like a crazy person. And then have to get rescued by the lifeguard. No, I would be able to, but there were some times where this is why my family made me take all these swimming lessons, to the point where I had so many swimming lessons that I joined the swim team. Okay. Now that I'm older, I practice a lot more discernment. I practice more understanding. I practice pausing. I practice, let me look at it. Let's give it a second. And although Jen, this whole thing was not about all Jen, but it's probably also that I wasn't as, or am not as affected as not being friends with people anymore, because I grew up in many different, we moved around a lot. And because I moved around so much, it was very easy for me to become friends and then being like, okay, I'll talk to you never. Bye. uh, or if I just stop talking to friends and then I reconnect with them later, to me, it's like, okay, I'll see you later. It's not like if I don't have a falling out, obviously. So also a quick note on why it's important to choose the right gym for you. It's that not that you want validation from other people, but if other people are there who you respect in the sense of they take care of their bodies, they have regimens that you respect, or just respect in general. Sorry. Anyway, I think it'll help you want to do better because you're seeing other people who like it works. You know what I mean? Like if you see that that's the payoff of it actually works, because a weight loss journey is very long. It's very arduous, it's very personal, it's only you. And at the end of the day, like it takes a long time sometimes to see results, and it can get discouraging extremely quickly, like all the time. And that's why it's more that if you're surrounded by people who are really taking care of themselves, or you're following people that are taking not just talking about it but like actually doing it, you know what I mean, then it makes you're like, okay, I see that it works. So I know that it'll take shape in a different way for me, but I see that it's potentially it could work if I stick to my regimens that are right for me, not that are right for other people, but that are right for me. And while this while this episode is randomly about, I guess, has Jen in it and she played a starring role, I don't know why. Today I also, when I was on Facebook for the first time in a year, I had seen that, so although Jen was my practice partner, Abby was my doubles partner in play. And so if you don't know what that means in tennis, you either are a singles player or you're a doubles player. So if you play singles, you play by yourself on the court against one other player. And then if you're a doubles player, then you play with a partner against two other people. And so Abby and I were in play, we were doubles partners together the whole time for like, I think the whole time that I'm trying to remember. I think we were. I don't remember. We were for like, I think the whole time. And so we played doubles together the whole time in JV and then in varsity. And then when we were in varsity, they also put us as singles players together. So I was single first and she was single second. So we would play next to each other anyway, but just on separate courts with a like a fence between us. And it was as if I was still playing with her. But we were playing separately. So her and I, we would actually double play throughout the whole thing. We would practice with varsity, do the varsity stuff, and then practice with JV when that was called for. It was, I guess, the JV's way of figuring how to like teach them how to play with varsity. I don't know. All I know is that I played double time. Her and I both played double time. So while Jen and I, she was in proximity to me, so we could practice more often, but Abby was my doubles partner. And so today, the reason I'm saying this is because I went on Facebook for the first time and I was like, am I still friends with her on Facebook? So I go on Facebook and I see, and she lost all this weight. And I was like, wow, she looks great. And hey, Abby. So, I had just started intermittent fasting like last week or a couple days ago. And because I'm on this fitness journey, I'm trying different things to see what's going to work. So I just started intermittent fasting and I'm like trying it out. And so when I went on Facebook, she lost all this weight just by intermittent fasting. And I was like, hell yeah, like, yeah. So again, it's like, it was a strange feeling too, because it was as if when I saw like the transformation, whatever she's doing, I was like, I literally wanted to like high five her. It was like a reaction that I was just like, high five, like after we would hit a ball or whatever. And so if she got it or I got it, we would like do a tap or a high five or whatever. And in that moment when I was so excited for her, because I was like, I looked at it, the first instinct that I had, doesn't even matter that it's 20 years later. I was like, yeah. And I put my hand up and I was like, oh, she's not here. So I said, okay. But yeah, I just think that's a very interesting story. Like the person that you practice with versus the person that you actually do the tournament or do the actual gameplay with when it's like game time. I just see a difference. I just see a difference. That's all. Remember to like, follow, comment, share, tattoo this podcast name to your body. Okay? And maybe we'll give you a t-shirt. But you can now find us on TikTok, all 2 of our videos, promo videos. We have not moved over to video segmenting yet, but we are now doing some light marketing, okay? And we do have some special guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have been filming furiously, okay? And everyone, as a special guest, said, I don't want to be on camera. What the hell? So we will be having very interesting episodes. And in fact, we will be releasing 2 episodes a week. I know I said last time, hey, we're going to release an episode every minute. But I'm being very serious because we have so many recordings at this point. It's like, I gotta just edit this stuff. So make sure to come back. Follow us on TikTok. Send this to your friends. Like, comment, share. We also have an email, so you can go to the show notes and send us beautiful love letters. Send us poems, love letters.
My microphone won't connect right now, so I am AIing a voice to let you all know not to be a little biznatch. Give us 5 stars. See you next time on Is This Why I Get in Trouble?